Dear doctors, welcome again. This is Deepak Mishra once again, and we have our guest, Prem Vignesh, a general surgeon from India. This is continuation of the previous interview that we have done, we were doing, but since the video got a little longer, we decided to shorten it and make a second video. So now, for people who are just tuned into this video, I'd like to give a brief intro. Dr. Prem Vignesh is a general surgeon from India, has been in Germany since last 6 months approximately. Prem?
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
around
7 months.
yeah, around 10 months he has been here, and he has recently passed his Fachsprach exam in Münster in state of Nordrhein-Westfalen. And we were doing an interview about his experiences as his hospitation experience and his application process so far. And in this video, he's going to talk to us about his Fachsprachprüfung. For doctors who are watching this video, I would recommend they watch the previous one first so that they have a idea what we are talking about. All right. Then, having said that, moving ahead, Prem, tell us about the day of your Fachsprachprüfung. How was it?
Yeah, so my Fachsprachprüfung was again on the 14th of March in Münster. So, it was at around, I think, 12:30, my termine, in the evening. And this was during the Corona time. So the 14th of March so they had a lot of precautions for, you should maintain Abstand and you should always sterilize and you should never give the hand. And they always had a pro forma in the beginning of the Prüfung that I had to fill in, that I have not been in contact with any of the Corona patients, or I've not traveled anywhere in Ausland and stuff like that. And I'm not symptomatic at the moment, and then I had to sign it. And then they take you in, and you get to drop off your bags, and you have a waiting room, so to say. And so you can sit there and just like relax and sort of recuperate on like whatever you've studied and how you're going to approach there are basically the three things, which is the Arzt-Patientengespräch and the Dokumentation und die Arzt-Arzt-Gespräch. So they are the three tiles for most of the Fachsprachprüfungs everywhere in Germany, I guess. But the first one is the Arzt-Patientengespräch. So my Fall was actually arthritis urica. Gischt. It was a Gischt-Anfall. So and it was
what is that? Okay, the arthritis urica, you said.
An attack of gout. Yes.
Yes.
So the first part went with, it was I didn't have any difficulties with it so much, and the patient and I had a good natural conversation, and we got the whole history, and some of it, like the problem with Münster is that it's not that they have one plot, they have subplots. Like, it's sort of like a movie where, in the family history, they would have something that the mother would have had an accident, and the accident would have been by a particular Unfallmechanismus and stuff like that. So that the patient would have just mentioned it, and you should not forget those little details that the patient mentions. So even though you don't have to document the unimportant things, they would go back to, because at the end of the day, it's a language exam. So they would go back to ask, what is it that the patient said that the mother had, or something like that in the Arztgespräch. So we should remember every little detail that the patient says. And in documentation, you should document only whatever is important and wherever necessary in conjunctive vines. And documentation also means we not only document the history, which is all the subheadings, also document the Verdacht Diagnose, the Differential Diagnose und weiteres Vorgehen. That is important for Münster. So, we should also say what all tests we are going to do, what diagnostic, and, what is a therapy suggestion or something that you're going to give. So all of that you jot down in the documentation, and then you have the Arzt-Arzt-Gespräch. The Arzt-Arzt-Gespräch is just you and the Oberarzt. Usually the Prüfer Kommission, it's a group of 3 people. So one person on the opposite side just noting the time and how long it took for me to take the history and doing all the logistics. One person would be acting as the Chefarzt or the Oberarzt. So, and then the other person would be acting as a patient, and that person who acts as a patient is also more or less an arts. So, so in the Arztarztgespräch, it's mostly between you and the Oberarzt who's sitting there. So he would be asking, a lot of Fach questions. First, it starts with the Patientenvorstellung. We should, whatever rough draft we have taken. So with that, we can do the Vorstellung, but the fair draft, the fair documentation, that goes to the prüfer. They would be correcting it as you would be doing the Vorstellung. And once you're done with the Vorstellung, then they might stop you in the middle and ask something as well. Or if you're really quick and detailed with your Vorstellung, they let you do the whole thing. And then they would go on asking about what are the differential diagnosis, what else could it have been, and so many more things like, what are the labs, and what if, and they might even go somewhere else. Like they can go into, for me, they went a lot into sepsis and, different other things about sepsis and stuff like that. And at the end of it all, you have this Fachbegriff. So you get about 12 or 15, I think, I'm not very sure, 12 or 15 Lateinische terms. So you have to translate into Deutsche Begriffe.
So Latin to German.
Latin to German. That's how it is in Münster, but I guess in some other places you have to translate it both ways.
Yes.
So at the end of it, it all went good, and I think the only thing they said was probably they couldn't understand my handwriting much in the documentation.
Okay. So from this case that you discuss, this gout, actually this does not form a major case. That is why, as far as I remember, in our course, we have not taken this case particularly.
Yes.
So how much difference? I mean, we have taken many cases, and then have discussed lots. I mean, I had taken around 40, 45 cases we have discussed, and this particular case was not there. So did you have difficulty for this case?
Luckily, the patient had a very typical history. He had a swollen right great toe, and the previous day he had a Betrieb's fire with his colleagues, and he had drunk a lot, and he ate a lot of red meat. And for me, it was a little clear for me, the diagnosis, so it was easier. But that's the problem with Münster, is that they have a lot of atypical cases. They have herpes zoster as cases. They have so many very atypical cases, I would say. But I mean, it's not possible to discuss all of the atypical cases as well. So what is important is to have a general idea of every disease process, like this and this and this symptoms. Probably this is the diagnosis. They won't probe you so much into the theory if you're not like so comfortable, and if you can't answer it, but you can really express yourself well in German. That, I guess, is the first point with Münster, that you should be able to express yourself well. And when you take the history from the patient, you should use only German terms. And when you document it and when you present it to the Oberarzt, only Fachbegriff, like only Lateinische terms, like, even the swelling, to describe it, they want to describe it as Calor-Rubor-Dolor tumor. Like, you don't describe it in German terms.
As a tumor. So
yeah, we shouldn't call it a Rotung or a Schwellung. Everything has to be discussed in Lateinische Begriff for Münster. So that is the only, they have a lot of these idiosyncrasies. So I guess once one is used to the Münster way of preparing for the exam, it is not so difficult. It's very much machbar, as they say it in German, which is like doable.
All right. So, okay. And the translations and everything that we had done during our course. So, did the words come somewhere that was not known, or how difficult was that translation?
No, most of it was very easy, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The translation was all right.
Yeah.
So, all right. And your, as you said, your Vorstellung was also not very difficult. Like you could explain things to him. All right, wonderful. So your experience was not that bad, I would say, since you were prepared. I mean,
Yes,
see, experience is not bad. That shows how much a person has prepared for it. So that
yes.
is directly, I mean, that is proportional somehow. I don't
But
know
for
directly or
Munster,
indirectly.
one should definitely not be ill prepared, I would say. I mean, at least 3 to 4 months of improving your language, taking a lot of histories, and
Mhm.
knowing basic theory about every, every disease that is discussed.
Yes. So
So
yeah,
that
that
is
is
very
what I was.
important. And we should always be very structured, and the anamnesis should be very seal-gerechtet.
That was my next thing that okay during my courses, I mean it's also a review basically that during my courses I've always mentioned that don't lose your structure. It's
Yeah,
irrelevant what the case is,
yeah,
it's irrelevant what the patient says. Don't
yeah,
lose your structure, because if you lose your structure, then coming back to that point where you have left, first of all you are in exam stress over
yeah.
there, and then you are not understanding the language because it's a foreign thing. So and in that, if you lose your thread also, like thread of thoughts, then it is difficult, like patient can't take you for a ride actually. So that is what I mean. You also mentioned the same thing, that structure has to be kept in mind all the time. All right. So Prem, now our viewers, our subscribers of this channel would like to know about your preparation strategies for
Yeah.
Fachsprachprüfung. Which books did you use? Which online sources did you take? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, you took our course, that is for, I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
given by now we have spoken
Yeah.
many times about it.
Yeah. As far as books go, I had a lot of like these copies of the Fachbegriff, which I use for the Fachbegriffen, and Lernkarten, which is these flashcards you use for
Mhm.
also Fachbegriff, and Deutsch
Yes.
für Ärztinnen und Ärzte as a book was also useful, and 50 wichtigste Fälle für Innere Medizin und Chirurgie, also Chirurgie und Innere Medizin und Frage und Antwort. I guess these are some of the books that you recommend as well, and I guess that these are basically the books that I studied as well.
True. And you forgot about Ambos.
Yeah, Umbos is something that I always use. Like I've always been subscribing to it, and as an app, I always go and anything, any of the classifications that I need to know or any of the pictures. Yeah, definitely the theory of it definitely should be done in Umbos, and Umbos also has a good number of free anamnese and stuff like that, like clinical scenarios, which will also help us in clearing the FSP, definitely.
True. I mean, this video or this interview is not sponsored by any of these authors, any of these books, neither by Ambos. But
Yeah,
since it is really so good, that is why I maintain that all the time. I say that, okay, that is good. You use it. Ambos subscription, if you're preparing for this Fachsprachprüfung and Kenntnisprüfung, Ambos subscription is the best use of your money. Okay, that is what I would say. And Prem also agrees to that. So, yeah, because that's so many. I mean, the language is so simple and so lucid for a foreign national. I mean, for a person who has Deutsch as Fremdsprache, for them things are very easy over there. So, all right. The preparation you mentioned the books then. So, tell us about what tips or what suggestions would you like to give to doctors who are in India at present on in beginning stages doing language, or maybe waiting for their Eingangsbestätigung, Deficitbescheid, and all those things, or people who are preparing for Fachsprachprüfung in Germany for that matter.
yeah,
What suggestions, what tips would you like to give those people?
yeah. I guess I'm not one for giving a lot of tips, but the only thing I would say is probably that one should have a lot of perseverance if one wants to make it in Germany, and they should know exactly what they want, and and it's not going to come easy when it's going to be Germany, and the language, the culture, and the medicine part of it as well. It's not that it's a cakewalk, and USMLE or the others are going to be much more difficult. Maybe for now it is sort of like that, but in the future it would probably be the same, because and I feel uh, it requires a whole lot of preparation and perseverance. One should really like stick to what they want to do, and I feel also that it is very customized. Their entry into Germany, each one has to, has to apply to different states, has to apply through different visa modalities,
Mhm.
and once you're in, you have to either do a hospitation or a course, and how that works for you. Everything is, you would have to tailor make your own preparation methodology and which state you choose, and which state has how many hospitals, and where do you want to start off working, and what is the work environment you want. Do you want to just start, in a smaller hospital, and do you want to remain there, or do you want to start in a smaller hospital and go to a bigger one, or you want to start in a bigger one? All these questions, I think, well, there would be different answers to this based on different perspectives. So I guess there can never be one answer for Germany. And the only thing is perseverance, and be very well informed about the system, like about each and every state as to how it goes. And and all the information now is available. The only thing is they should be well informed.
At present, that is what I also say many times, that there is so much information at present on different websites and
Yeah.
on Facebook groups and all. We also have a Facebook group, Doctor in Germany, where I try to answer a few questions on through YouTube videos. I always keep. So at this point, Prem, as you have been like one of the initial candidates, what would you say about our consulting program? Like, I mean, it is a little bit advertisement, but then I think I'm allowed to do that because
Yeah, yeah,
I'm making this video.
definitely. I mean, I would definitely give you a very good testimonial in that, that from the beginning you've been a very good, like, you've always guided me in the right way. If there's a doubt that I had, if I had to clarify anything, I always did it with you, because I knew that, you're going to give me the best possible answer. You're in there in Germany, and you were one of the first among the Indian community to make it in Germany. So I guess it really helped me. I mean, the whole process of planning out my future from the second year of my residency to coming to Germany, and from here to doing my course and my hospitation, and then eventually my FSP. And I am very happy with what DMiNetz has been like uh, giving in terms of like consultation, classes, and the guidance that you give. And I mean, you're always approachable, like and that's something that I really like. Yeah.
Very nice review, Prem.
Yeah.
And plus, I'm not paying, just for viewers, I'm not paying Prem for this reviews.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, uh, All right, then. Thank you very much, Prem, for your kind words and your
Yeah.
time, so that you have taken this time. I mean, these two videos have been a little longer, but then I think our viewers and subscribers will definitely benefit from the information that you have shared with us, and they will also use this information for their own career paths. All right. Thank you very much. Have a
Yeah.
nice time. And I wish you, on behalf of all our viewers, subscribers, very good luck for your approbation exam. Do let us know. I mean, definitely we are going to stay in touch, but maybe we
Definitely.
can make a new video when you pass the approbation exam.
Yeah.
All right. So, and we will inform the viewers also that time when you pass the approbation exam.
Yeah.
All right. Have a nice time and see you sometime soon.
Yeah.
Once the Corona thing is over, then we can meet sometime.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
All
That's what.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Bye bye.